Hello.
Welcome back, everyone, to Grit, Guts, and Gab, where we discuss resilience, determination, and perseverance. I'm Tamika,
And I'm Jenny.
and
So
today,
today I think we're going to talk about vacationing.
okay, vacationing. I like vacation, Tamika. She is a great person. She's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
Mine too. Vacation is like very nice, laid back,
Yeah.
relaxed.
No stress. I don't have to do anything. Ideally, in my idea of vacation, that I'm not washing dishes and cleaning up after someone. Someone's technically waiting on me, or I don't have to make up my own bed or wash my towels. I know people do Airbnbs, and maybe that's more affordable depending on your situation and how many people, but I like someone else doing that. I like a fresh towel every time I take a shower. It does something for me. It's psychological. I don't know. Just that's the one of those signature pieces of I'm on vacation.
Yes. I don't know. I have like a mind switch, right?
Okay.
Like I'm very type A, but the second I'm on vacation, I don't care if my plane's delayed. I don't care if we don't make it. Like I have no type A whatsoever on vacation.
Gotcha. Well, that one at one time, I don't know if I would say it's type A, but I arrived at the airport 3 hours ahead of time, but the line was so long that I got up to, I think I was the third person next in line, and they were like, "If you're not already up here, you're not getting on that flight because your bags have to be checked an hour beforehand for international flights." And they were like, "Unless you have a carry-on," and then there were people sneaking through the line. They're like, "Yep, I got a carry-on." I'm like, "Darn it." And so we arrived the same day, but it was like 4 hours later. I was a little disappointed in that because we were going to Cancun, but I, you know, I arrived. You're right. It was really on the bigger scheme of things. It could have been worse that you could have not gone or missed the whole thing, or I could be sitting at home and not even planning a vacation in Cancun. So it worked out. But I get it. The level of things that annoy you. I mean, you allow a lot of things to pass when you're traveling versus if you were just sitting in traffic or at home with these kids, and it's like, everything bothered me. But there, it's like, it'll be okay. In a few hours, I'll be laying on the beach.
Hmm. Exactly. I work really hard. I have a few jobs. Like I feel like need a vacation away from home. My husband's kind of a homebody, and he would be like, "Well, why do we need to go anywhere?" Well, if we don't go anywhere, I'm still going to cook, I'm still going to clean, I'm still going to take care of everything. Like, I still have all that responsibility on my shoulders.
Are you a staycationer? Would you ever staycation?
I mean, we've done it a couple of times, but I do not get the same like
Okay.
relax.
Pretending to be a tourist doesn't do the same thing for you as really being away from everything else. Okay.
Summertime and pools, like that helps a little, but other than that, no. I really like going somewhere, doing something. And I've traveled really cheap and I've traveled really expensive before. So it's kind of a toss up as to however much money we have at the moment.
Gotcha. You're not at one of those places like the commercial that say, "Anybody want some eggs? It makes your bones grow." You're not at those kind of places, are you? Or are you? I don't know. You tell me.
No, but we have, okay, I'll talk about cheap vacations. Maybe people can get a
Okay.
little few tips and tricks. Like we have driven, we drive a lot of places. We've driven from Minnesota down to Florida, all the way over to New Orleans, up through Memphis. Like we've kind of traveled all over. And so we do that. That saves a lot of money. For airfare for five people, it gets expensive quick.
I can
So
imagine.
yeah, we like to drive and road trip. We've driven from Minnesota all the way down to South Padre as well. So like we've done kind of both sides, middle and the East Coast. We save a lot of money that way. We may, we'll have breakfast in the car, we'll have lunch in the car, and then we stop and we'll eat dinner out.
Now, do you already have breakfast and lunch packed
Yes.
beforehand? Okay, because when you said you have it in a car, I didn't know if we're swinging by McDonald's or something. You're like, "Give me
No,
$45,000 worth of food." Okay, you're like, "We're gonna
no.
have a donut in a car." Well, I don't know if you're making donuts, but you're like, whatever, breakfast sandwich or something. I don't know what would be What's
Protein
good to eat for
Pop-Tarts
breakfast?
are the
Okay,
newest thing for
because I'm
my
like, what's a
family.
good breakfast in the car? I'm like, I don't like cold food, so I'm trying to figure out what that would be because I'm not having pancakes in the car because that would be like, ooh,
No.
how are we heating
No,
that up?
but we'll have like fruit. I'll have cut up strawberries or we'll have grapes or, something that's easy to put in a container, grab and go.
Okay,
And so we'll have some type of breakfast in the car. Maybe it's granola bars. I like granola bars, but Pop Tarts, something that you can heat and go and then eat
okay.
it when it's lukewarm.
So what's
So,
the alternative if you were to take your family of five out for breakfast on your road trip? What would a breakfast cost roughly?
oh, at least 35, $40 by the time five people get a breakfast
And
sandwich.
that's just ordering through. That's just ordering through fast food. That's not even sitting down at a restaurant. You mean?
No,
Okay.
no,
And
maybe
and
$30.
and lunch.
Lunch is between 30 and 50. Like,
Okay.
especially these days, and the cost. I mean, you go to McDonald's and you use the app, you can get like the chicken nuggets, the 20-piece chicken
Okay. So
nuggets.
free or a discount or something. All right. So you're saving 80 to maybe $100 a day by not eating breakfast and lunch in the
Yeah,
car. At least that first day. I don't know if you do that every day that you're eating breakfast and lunch on your own. Like, do you
yeah.
pack breakfast and lunch for enough days? So if you're going for 3 days, would you have breakfast and lunches for 3 days worth of days?
It takes about 2 days to drive from Minnesota down to Florida. So we
Okay.
do it in 2 days. So, yes, I do pack enough food for two breakfasts and two lunches, or maybe I'll make lunch. I'll make a sandwich in the car, or we do homemade Lunchables like cracker, cheese, and a lunch meat of some kind. So that way you can kind of make it on your own. And I just keep filling up the cooler with ice.
Okay. And do you stop or you go all the way through?
We the first day you leave very early in the morning. You drive as long as you can make it, and then we stop. What's really cool is we've called Holiday Inn. Like, you call their main number, and you're like, "Hey, I'm on this highway, and I'm in this part of town. Can we book a hotel with you?" And they'll be like, "Okay, there's this one and that one. Which one would you like?" And we have rooms, and we'll get it
Okay.
all set up for you. So Holiday Inn is really great
Okay.
when we're traveling on the road, and you can call and be like, "Let's book a room last minute."
All right, you guys hear that? So you don't have to necessarily have the place booked ahead of time. You don't have to force yourself to kind of stay awake because you're like, we got 3 more hours to try to get to wherever that target hotel is.
Yeah,
And, so that way it gives a little more flexibility of if you found a cute little town along the way that you want to stop at, that you can stop and visit and not have to worry about it, or you can mosey on and just call Holiday Inn and say, hook me up, brother.
I know. I'm plugging Holiday Inn, and they don't even know it.
Oh, oh yes, if Holiday Inn would like to sponsor us, Grit Guts and
Yeah,
Gab, we'd be happy to.
yeah. And then, when we get there, I always cook breakfast for my family if the hotel doesn't offer free breakfast, but I do look for places that offer free breakfast and try to include that, cuz free breakfast is free breakfast. My family's are big breakfast eaters. I have three dancers. They're hungry. They eat like teenage boys sometimes. They'll get mad listening to this, but they're not light eaters.
So you're like, yes, your granola bar is not enough, Mom. We've been eating granola bars for the last 2 days. Let us
Yeah.
have some real food, please. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that 100%. And so okay, so we have the travel. Driving is more affordable, at least at this point, than flying,
Mhm.
and especially with a family of that size. I guess if you're a person of one as a traveler, then you have a little more flexibility. Packing that breakfast and lunch, at least for the first day or so, also helps buy people some time, save a couple dollars along the way, and also probably saves time. Well, the time that it takes us to stop and have to order and have to stop again, then that probably also gets you there maybe a few minutes faster than you would have normally. And drive as far as you can reasonably, and then you just call up your folks and get you a room, or at least identify some places that you can have along the way, preferably with breakfast, so that you can feed your kids if you have kids, or feed yourself so that you can have maybe a warm meal and not have to eat granola for the next few days. Unless you force yourself granola, then by all means. But
Something else that we do on vacation is I like to freeze water bottles,
okay.
because then you always have cold water.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that serves as ice too. Like I feel like that would serve as keeping things a little bit cooler since you have that fruit and stuff in there. You're like those frozen ice bottles. But yes, I suppose that it would. But would it thaw out that quickly? Like if you're, I'm like, it
No,
feels like it
if
would be
you
still
put it,
frozen.
yeah, if you put it in like, a cooler bag, like a lunch bag, and you
Okay.
keep it in there, it it stays for a long time. Like
Yeah.
we've done that at Disney World because you can bring in a backpack, you can bring in waters to Disney World, and I'll just carry around 5 frozen water bottles. They're heavy, but they're not super heavy. And then once you start drinking it, you add more water to it, and then you always have really cold water.
Wow, I didn't know you could bring vodka into Disney in water bottles. So you say what? And what is this new situation I'm hearing about? Yeah. All right. So frozen water. Yes, because vodka doesn't freeze people. They'll know that it's water
Yeah,
because it's frozen.
yeah, yeah. So something to think about when you're on vacation because you have your big trip coming.
Yes, that is definitely a consideration. I never really thought about having frozen waters. I don't know if I have access to a freezer where I'm going, but hopefully, I don't know how long they would stay frozen. Maybe they could make it through day one, but I don't know. I think that they would be down goes Fraser. I could try to keep it as cool as possible, but I don't have one of those. I don't have maybe I don't know. Maybe we have one of those cooling lunch bags. You know how it's supposed to be designed for like cans or bottles or something, then maybe that could preserve it. But how much is that going to weigh in my luggage? Like, I think I'll just fill up my little refillable water bottle. My
Yeah,
Yeti will just have to do at this point,
yeah,
and have ice because I don't know how practical that would be in the situation that we're going to. But I one of my biggest issues, and I just had this conversation with my friend, is taking the time to read all the reviews. I'm not a review reader. There's a lot of words. I'll check out the stars if there's like, oh, 1 star, 2 star, 12 stars. Okay, maybe it only goes up to 5 or 4, but I cannot sit there and just go through and comb through. And some of the reviews are so ridiculous. It's like, well, I can't believe it's hot in the Bahamas. I did not expect heat and 1 star because this whole place is so warm.
yeah.
So I think some of the things that people are reviewing are like it doesn't. It's humid. You picked a tropical place to go to. It's
Or the
not a.
paint is chipping. Like I could care less about, there's a little in the corner of the carpet there was,
It was
something.
a slight rip or something. It's not like we got chalk outlines in here. Then I mean, maybe you probably want to steer clear of that. I had the pleasure, and I'm calling it pleasure. This is very. I'm saying this sarcastically for those of you who are not sure. Of having someone book us a 1 star hotel in New York. Now, if
Oh,
you've never stayed in a 1 star hotel, I don't recommend you start now.
no.
In this 1 star hotel, there were four of us. So four
No.
people, three girls and a guy. The guy and a girl, one of the guys and girls were together. And again, there were four of us. I'm like, what's a 1 star hotel? And I'm joking. They probably got the bathroom in the hallway or something like that. Huh? The joke was on me. The bathroom was in the hallway. People lived at this place. People were taking a shower while you're trying to use the bathroom. Like the shower was in the toilet. I felt like I was in a dorm or something. It was happening all at the same time. And it was a lot. It was a lot. Men, women, I don't know. I don't know if there was a separate men and women's. I'm not really sure. Can't remember that part. It's all a blur at this point. But I know when I walked in that room and it was like 1,000 degrees in there in the wintertime in New York, I'm like, it was like one of those, we turn on the heat, we can't turn it off, no matter what floor you're on. So heat rises. So it's like 1 billion degrees. We're trying to crack the window. They only let the window crack this much because they're not trying to have you jump out the window. It's bars all over the window. We're like, please just open the window. And it's like 30 something degrees. Just let some level of air come in this room because we're going to die. Like at some point, I thought about just putting my pillow by the window because It was so hot in there, and it came with three twin beds.
Oh,
Remember, it's four of us. So in this one-star hotel, we have three random twin beds, one against the door, two over there, and it's just like no bathroom, no sink, nothing. You just have to go in the hallway if you need to do all your business, and you can sit. They did have a window. I'm afraid to know they did have a window, so that we can crack it and get some air. But I don't recommend it, especially not one-star hotels in New York. Shout
no.
out to them. We survived. I can now have that on my bingo card that I have done this, but we did not get an opportunity to read the reviews. We just trusted someone who lived there who said, "Oh, I can find you guys a cheap place to stay." It is four of us. We could have split the price four ways. Jesus, give us at least two queen beds or something. Give me something. It was just
Three twin beds.
three twin
European
beds.
style.
And these are human-sized grown-up people who are trying to get in these three twin beds. Like it was thankfully, again, two people were together, so they get to know each other even more, I suppose, in that twin bed. But it's, I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like the moment you try to toss, it's like you're on top of the other person. Like you can't even move. It's like you have to sleep on that one little corner and try not to.
Oh
I
no.
had to spoon like that one time with one of my friends when we were in Singapore because that was the only like bed because we just needed one night to stay before we flew out the next morning. And it's like it was we just again read the reviews, people. This is the takeaway because there was no review reading in that either. Because if she had read the reviews, you would have discovered that there was a whole Mardi Gras happening under the hotel. So in the streets, like nobody ever went to sleep. They were up all night. There were parties around the clock. And it was like, I cannot sleep. I need certain conditions. I need earplugs, eye masks, darkness. And it was one of those hotels that the key, all the electricity goes out when you close the door. And so it's burning up in here because we had to close the door, take the key out of the thing, and put it back in here. And then the party starts coming alive around 10, 11 o'clock at night. And we had to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to go to the airport. And I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, this is, we tossed, we turned, we spooned. I got to know her in ways that I never wanted to know her. But there was not any room really in this twin bed because you don't know. Like when they say this is a single, you singles in other countries are not the same as America. You're like, oh, okay, that'd be a queen bed or maybe a king. No, no, not even a full size bed. You're in a twin little bed, getting to know somebody really well. I hope you like it.
Yeah, read the reviews. I do read the reviews because I don't look for like, oh, it was too hot or oh, look at the, the I don't know,
The
the tub
carpet.
had like a little ring around it or, it wasn't as clean. I look for cockroaches, I look for bed bugs, I
That's
look
true.
for, you know,
They got roaches, rats, mice. My sister's just recently stayed somewhere. What is she? She went to St. Martin, one of your favorite places. And on top of the refrigerator was a little, she called it ratatouille. From on top, it was a mouse on top of the refrigerator. One had gotten into one of her friend's bags who was with them, had to throw the bag outside. It crawled out. And then later they found one on top of a glue trap on top of the thing. And the owner was trying to play. I didn't know there was a problem. You don't have glue traps on top of your refrigerator, people, unless you already know you have a problem with mice or bugs or something. I've never been to a house with a glue trap on top of the refrigerator. If you have one, I hope you can get that under control because it's not nice. That would I don't know that I could have stayed. But she stayed, she fought through it, but that would be but I told her she needed to write the review about it. But the person said leave it off the review. But if I leave this off the review, that means the next person is going to come here and not know. And I will say this, if you're a review reader, please be also a review writer so
yeah,
that you can write the good reviews and the bad ones so that people like myself who don't read them anyway will at least have a hope of somebody else reading them who's going on this trip with you and be able to let you know that because her leaving that off, I feel like is a disservice to anybody else who's renting
everybody.
that place because now there's no motivation to fix the issue
No.
because nobody knows it's an issue really, right?
Yeah, I do leave reviews. It,
Okay.
like we went to a hotel in Cocoa Beach. My kids were little. We opened the room and it was like two double beds and like tiny little spaces in between. I was like, oh, this is not going to work with three kids running around. Like they'd be
Mhm.
jumping from bed to bed and, going
Right.
back and forth. So we
Mhm.
went back and we asked, hey, do you have anything bigger? I don't think this is going to work. And then she gave us a really nice place. And she only charged us like $20 more because I was really nice about it.
Okay.
I left a very good review.
Okay. That's nice. I thought you were gonna say that they were like, "Well, deal with it, sister. You booked this room. You get
No,
what
they
you get."
were really helpful. They were like, okay, here, how about we give you this? It was like two-story, and there was like
Okay.
two
Oh,
bedrooms, and then the couch had a bed. And then I think my twins needed a pack and play. So they gave us like a pack and play. So it
I
was
mean,
nice.
how do you come from just beds like here to all of these extra amenities? We should have started with this room. What are we doing here, people? What are we
I don't
doing?
think I saw it on the website.
Okay. Yes, that's a secret room that they was reserved just for you so that you can write that glowing review about them.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm
I
glad you
do
had
like
that experience.
reviews. Like if I go someplace or like I always look at reviews too. Is it close to the beach? Like if we're staying at the beach but not on the beach, how long of a walk is it to the beach? I mean, you can look at it in Google Maps and be like, oh, it's probably about this. But I like reading reviews. I do read reviews.
Okay. And do you, it sounds like you're looking for, are there rodents? Is it close to the beach? You're not looking at some of the small cosmetic things necessarily. I didn't like the way the carpet matched the comforter on the bed. Like you're not really into those kind of things, but
Yeah.
the having safety as far as like cleanliness and not having bed bugs is what you're looking for.
Yeah. And then making sure when you're a family of five, there are a lot of hotels that don't really accommodate families
Five
of
people.
five.
That's true. They want you to get a separate room. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And I'm not getting a separate room because that is like a waste of money. And when my kids were little, I don't want to put them in another room. You know what I mean? Like then we have to split up and it was too
you can
much.
always dress the twins as identical and then have them wearing the same outfit to be like, no, this is the same girl you just saw a few minutes ago. It's not two of them. Sure. No, we like, I didn't even see you go out to the car. No, yeah, we snuck out and came around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cancun was like the most family friendly place that we visited because it had bunk beds and then a trundle bed like at the
Okay.
bottom.
So you're like, okay,
That
nice.
was like we stayed there twice. I think it was nice.
Yeah, that's what my daughter has in her room, a trundle bed that she's now like, I want a loft bed to move on to. No, you're not getting a loft bed at 10. I'm sorry. We're not there yet. You're not loft bed ready. That seems like a teenager situation. I'll catch you in that bridge. Maybe when you start doing your homework actually in your room, we would feel like that's a thing. But when you're out here harassing me, I think you can deal with your trundle bed and we'll be fine. You
Yeah.
don't sleep on it anyway. I feel like most of the time she has somebody sleep over, they're like, oh, let's just sleep in my bed. So what's the point of having an extra bed? I would want to sleep in my own space, but clearly that's not a thing that people do. They're like, no, we could just cuddle up together. I don't
My
know.
kids go in the basement and sleep on the floor and the couch.
Yeah, that's insane to me because I guess as a kid, was that just with each other or is if they had people over? Like,
If they have people over.
because I could see that, but I don't know. Like I thought you meant like on a Tuesday, they're like, "Let me just sleep on the floor in the basement." I'm like, I don't know that I love that idea, but maybe they did. Maybe it's cooler down there. I
It
don't
is
know.
cooler maybe this summer when I won't let the air go above it. Like we're gonna keep it at like 76, and when they're dying of heat, I'll just be like, go in the basement. You
Then
can
why
go
are we
sleep on
even
the
have
basement
it
floor.
on if it's 76 degrees? Like, what are we doing? Just open a window. Maybe it'll be cooler outside. Like, I don't know that it does it ever get hot enough that you need to have air on like that?
It's humid. Yes.
Mm, gotcha. I'm like,
We
I
got
don't know
lots of
how many
lakes. We
days
got
you
a
get
lot of
above
lake
76.
situation.
Does it get in the 90s in Minnesota? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
July and August. Mostly July.
got that one day at 90. I'm like, what are we talking about? It's about to be 90 degrees here tomorrow, probably. Like, what are we talking about? It's 80s today. And you're like, it's 35 degrees. So yes, it is a range. Our country has a great range of temperatures, no
Yeah.
matter where you are, and it is something to see. Do you prefer international travel, or do you prefer to travel where you can drive? Because you can't drive international unless you're driving across the Mexican and Canadian border or something.
It's been a while since we've been to Cancun, but I like Cancun because it's all inclusive. So that has been like when my kids were little, that was the best vacation we could take because you pay for everything up front. I don't cook, I don't clean, and they have daycare free.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't. There's a lot of boxes that you're checking here. You're like, no daycare, no cooking, no cleaning, and it's all included, so I don't have to worry about on the back end of counting my pennies and making sure we have enough to make it through the week.
Yeah,
And I guess that is the bonus of having all inclusive, and that is the disadvantage, however, sometimes about traveling here because I don't know of any places in the United States that have all inclusive situations.
yeah, no. I mean, maybe there's a couple, but they're like so outrageously expensive that
You're
you
like,
can't.
it'll be $40,000. I'll let you stay the weekend all inclusive. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no. I bring my little skillet pan with me, so if there's no free breakfast, I make breakfast for my family. I did that this past weekend. I packed my little skillet. It's about 3 pounds. And then I did a Target grocery cart situation where, they brought me my groceries. So that was actually kind of nice. I can make a lot of stuff in that little skillet.
No, my dream is I would love to learn how to ski or snowboard, at least try it. My question would be, have you ever been on like a winter sort of vacation at a reasonable price? Is that
No,
such a thing? Okay.
I don't know if that's a thing, but my kids are dancers, and so I'm like, you can't ski, you can't snowboard, I can't have you break a
Like,
leg.
you're like, you can't break anything. You're my ticket out of here. You're
Yeah,
like, I
no,
need these to get my investment worth. We've already paid for dance lessons. So you're gonna keep those legs, Miss Lady Ma'am. All right,
yeah.
I get you.
And we live in prime skiing and snowboarding. Like next, about a mile away from their dance studio, there is a
Mm.
place where Lindsey Vaughn used to ski.
Okay,
That's where
okay.
she started. So there is skiing and snowboarding here. My kids just don't go. It's kind of expensive.
Because I'm like, I don't know that there is a cheap way. I feel like even if you own your own stuff, you still have to rent the something, the
Yeah,
space, the time. It's
pay
not
for
like I can just
it.
go grab a mountain and like, it's not like if you live somewhere with a hill, you could just take a sled and go down. Like, I think it's more to it than that. Like, I need lifts and need to get down and I don't know what I'm doing and I need to be on the kiddie ramp or whatever. If there's like a kiddie something that you start with, I'm gonna be hanging on the kiddie section and then I want to just be in front of the fire with a glass of wine. That's gonna be my experience. But I want to at least try it. I just don't know if at this random young age, if that's something that's recommended for your first time ever doing it. But I feel like why not? Why not? I'm
Skiing
an adventure.
isn't that hard. I took it in college. I took a
You took
skiing
me.
class. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
there's
like,
lots of skiing in Minnesota.
You're like,
So
this is gonna be my PE. I don't need to have basketball or tennis. I'm gonna take skiing. No, didn't have that offered. No, we had table tennis offered, but we did not have skiing as a choice to choose from.
missed
Water
out.
skiing or snow skiing. We had none of the skiing available here. But
I feel like
yeah.
when you're ready for your skiing vacation, you need to let me know. I bet you I could find a cheap way to do it for you.
Yeah, like me stay at your house and then drive an hour away to go skiing.
I
Like
can drive you there,
you've
go
already painted the picture on what the reasonable choice is, and
and
now
I'll
I know
cook
we
for
can have some
you. And
granola or some of these little sandwiches that you got packed for the day. Yes, I am ready to go. If they let me go out to the car, I can have one of those car sandwiches and
yeah.
whatever you got going on and live my best life. But it, I think my takeaways from you is read the reviews
Hmm.
because they may tell you something that you need, especially when you prioritize the things that are important to you. So being near the beach or making sure they have hot water or whatever it is important, and make sure you're keying in on those reviews to see if other people are noticing that. If you can't get in touch with the person who is running the place and they took your money and ran and all of these problems, probably want to be a place that you want to avoid. If somebody's telling you don't mention the rodents in your review, 100% mention the rodents in the review, because now they may be able to have the ability to take it down. I don't know. But I just wanted to say that somebody hopefully may be blessed by that information. If it's a 1-star hotel, avoid it at all costs, no
Yeah.
matter what they say.
Yeah.
Unless you're into that kind of thing. I know my nephew likes hostels, so you can meet a lot of new people and just hang around. But I feel like that's something that young people do. I don't know that once you have a family that you want your 10-year-old daughter
Hanging out with 21
who is
year old.
developing to be in a youth hostel with people. Yeah. So I'm just saying, see what the priority. Driving may be cheaper than flying. All inclusive is definitely a way to go, especially if they're going to have childcare if you have children. And
Think of
any other.
different ways to make it cheaper or more affordable. I would say this: we have been very broke and still have had a fantastic vacation with driving, with staying somewhere that had a kitchen where I did all the, a lot of the cooking and the meal planning, and I got really what's on it. I hit up the dollar store for snacks, like there are ways to make vacationing cheaper, more
Would you
affordable.
stay with more people? Like, let's say, would you and another family of five go somewhere together and like share a place, or is that too much to? Is that overwhelming, the idea of that? I don't know if you have any other friends with children who.
No,
Okay. Or you're like, no, thank you. Like, would you bring like grandparents or aunts and uncles as a part of the vacation?
I have brought my mom and my grandma a long time ago to Vegas with us, and
Okay.
we stayed in a timeshare. So it was like big enough for everyone. And my daughter, my very first daughter, was young enough. She was only like 8 months old. And my husband and I got quite a few dates out of it.
Okay. So there was the win. I guess when you start bringing in the other kids is where it kind of slowed down. They're like, we can't have them and these other two kids here. Somebody's not going to be able to go. Mom and grandma can't ride on the trip here if we're going to put
Yeah.
it all in black. Let it ride, people. Let it ride.
And then I got to take my mom and grandma to go do something fun too while my husband stayed and watched our daughter. So, like, my grandma won a bread maker on like the Price is Right game. I
Wow,
brought
I
my
love it.
grandma
She's like,
always wins that stuff. So, like,
"Girl,
you get to do. I did fun things with them. I did fun things with my husband. We did some things together as a family. So that was fun.
okay."
I brought my brother on vacation too, but he doesn't have kids.
So he's like, I don't know if I'm doing the watching of the kids thing.
Oh, he loves hanging out with my girls.
Okay,
So
well, then there you go. So you're like, more dates. This is it. This is the ticket. I just didn't know if that would help with the pricing, the splitting the cost of things. But if you
yeah.
had somebody's timeshare, then I guess maybe you didn't have to pay anything if they already had paid for it. I don't know. Maybe they were generous enough to lend it to you for the weekend or week. But I think that there are ways. When I was younger, I definitely traveled with a lot more people. My Vegas time, it was 9 of us in one hotel room that smelled horrendous. I feel like I don't know if anybody died in there, but it definitely smelled moldy, mildewy. If you could smell those things, I don't know if you can, but it did not smell fresh. And we didn't know that it didn't smell fresh until you actually smell outside. And it's like, what are we doing in this room? And then you go back in the room and it's like, oh, it's so bad. Why didn't we get another hotel room? But when
I
it's
mean,
9 people in here, it's like we're in air mattresses. We all have jobs. What are we doing? Why do we feel like we need to split $100 room 9 ways for 2 days? Like, it is the most ludicrous. It was the most ludicrous trip I've ever been on, because we got air mattresses on the floor. We got beds over here. We got people packed everywhere. You can't even walk. You have to squeeze between the bed and the air mattresses to get by. Why are we doing this?
I've paid $32 a night at Circus Circus in Las Vegas.
I don't even know if I've paid $10 for the whole trip. It was the most ludicrous thing. Like, it didn't make sense at all. And to this day, nobody can forget it because it smells so bad. but nobody left. Now, one of us wanted to complain because who are you complaining to? What are you gonna go say?
There's
Okay,
none
we
of
made
us
some
in this
19
room.
suitcases and multiple air mattresses and with two people in the room. But yeah, there's nothing you can say. Nothing you could say.
I would
Just
say
eat.
sometimes we get really focused in on all the negative things about something, whatever it is. And then it turns out to be some of the best memories,
Oh, it's
some things that
100%.
you just don't forget and that
Yes.
you laugh at after. So, like, even if you're going cheap and you're doing crazy things or something doesn't go right. I mean, we've stopped in places where we were like, oh my God, we got to get out of here right now. Like, let's
Mhm.
go. We'll never forget those places. It's now become the family joke. So, you know, I would say even the most negative vacations somehow turn out positive in the end.
Yes, and it definitely can have a story or memory that can last a lifetime, which in a sense, I guess, is priceless.
It is priceless. Vacations are priceless. Whether, you go down the street, I do like to get out of my house, or even if you vacation at home, you can still make it memorable. But everyone needs a break.
Yes, they do need a break. So make sure you're planning a vacation. Don't be one of those people who worked somewhere for 25 years and never took a day off. It's okay. Get away. It's going to make you more productive when you return because you have new experiences, new outlook on life, new energy. You'll feel renewed, excited to be back and to give your full self. And
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone needs a break.
and I appreciate you taking that spin on the negative experiences. You're right; those do tend to stand out more than some of the positive ones. Even though there are some great vacations that I've had as well, I just that particular one with all the people in the room was definitely a story that we all cannot forget and definitely remember. And it was for our friend's wedding, so it also is even more memorable that if somebody was actually getting married out of that group of people. Why are you in this room with us? Like this is so ludicrous, but it was. We hung with it. We did it. We survived. It was great times, and don't know that I'll do it again. Just in case anybody's trying to go to that. I don't even know the name of that hotel, but that was my Vegas story. That when you talked about your Vegas experience, I was not in a timeshare. I was not anywhere that had enough room for anybody, and we did it anyway. We somehow survived. Thank
Yeah,
God for casinos because we could be out of the room for most of the day and not have to be in that smelly room all day. So that is the bright side of it. The things are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you don't have to really worry about where can I go in Vegas. So, it's a good place to kind of wonder if you're a wanderer that you can just kind of be a nomad and pop from one place to another. And if you don't stay there long enough, then nobody really notices that you're in the way. So I'm just saying that. I used to always say if I was ever homeless to give me a ticket to San Diego because I love San Diego, and people sit on the beach with like bonfires, and I'm like, this seems like a cool way. If I'm gonna not have a house, I want to not have a house on the beach. But Vegas may be a good place to have access to bathrooms and you can pop from one casino to another and like nobody will ever get. If you're not there long enough that anybody notices, you could probably pull it off for a little while. You could probably
yeah,
pop from one place to another all day long and spend a few hours, sit at a thing, pretend that you're putting money in there. Maybe you got a coin, maybe you get lucky. Who knows? Who
mhm.
knows? But thank you for this topic. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the tips as well.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today.
Again, we're Grit, Guts, and Gab, where we discuss resilience, determination, perseverance, vacationing, and anything else. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us.
Yep.
All of
Spotify and
that.
YouTube. All right. Thank you,
And
everyone.
tell us about your next vacation if you'd like in the chat. We'd love to hear about it.
We would. Thank you.
Thank you.